All right, several cold cases around the nation may finally get solved. Here's One America's Jessamine Dodd.
From a cold case down south to an officer-involved shooting on the East Coast, these are the cases across the nation this week. Mobile, Alabama, a 2014 cold case comes one step closer to being solved. A grand jury indicted 42-year-old Bridget Pardon Matthews for allegedly hitting a man with her car, killing him and hiding the body. The victim was initially reported as a missing persons case. His body has not yet been found. Matthews has been in jail since August for violating probation terms from a 2019 conviction for escape for not complying with a drug diversion program. And in Kentucky, the FBI arrests a man in connection with the disappearance of Crystal Rogers. After an investigation by the Kentucky State Police, Louisville FBI, and other federal agencies, Brooks Houck, the missing woman's boyfriend, was taken into custody without incident. The indictment remains sealed. In Baton Rouge, Louisiana, lawyers call for federal civil rights charges to be brought against officers involved in the death of Ronald Green. In 2019, 5 police officers were accused of beating, tasing, and dragging Green while he was detained. One officer was seen on body cam video shoving Green in the dirt and holding his foot on his back for 9 minutes, while the other officers punched Green.
I'm just scared. Get out. I'm driving me, Chris. I'm scared.
One of the troopers received a 50-hour suspension. Another trooper died in a car crash shortly after being notified he would be suspended. And a third deputy was heard on a leaked recording bragging about the beating. A 5-page indictment was handed down against the troopers, with one trooper being charged with negligent homicide, and 3 others, plus a Union Parish sheriff, charged with obstruction of justice and maleficence. However, a state judge threw out the obstruction charges for the 2 of the accused. Green's official autopsy report lists his cause of death as, quote, cocaine-induced agitated delirium, complicated by motor vehicle collision, physical struggle, inflicted head injury, and restraint. However, they left the manner of death blank. And turning now to Colorado, a break in the case of a missing mother. Authorities in El Paso County positively identified the remains of Suzanne Morphew. Morphew disappeared in May of 2022, Mother's Day. Her husband Barry was arrested that same month after a search of her Chaffee home and a second property where fresh concrete was poured. Those murder charges were dropped. Barry Morphew is seeking $15 million settlement following the dismissal of the charges against him. The investigation remains ongoing. Now moving to the East Coast. In Philadelphia, charges are dropped against a police officer who fatally shot a man during a traffic stop. Officer Mark Dial was charged with murder and voluntary manslaughter after unloading his gun into Eddie Irizarry Jr.'s vehicle. Dial's attorneys say the officer believed Irizarry had a gun and that Dial acted in self-defense. The judge agreed and tossed the case. Just hours after the charges were dismissed, the district attorney refiled the murder charges. Dial's next court date is set for October 25th. In Maryland, suspect Jason Billingsley is arrested for the murder of tech CEO Parva LaPere. A warrant was issued for Billingsley for attempted murder, rape, and arson just days before the brutal murder of LaPere. LaPere was reported missing on September 25th. Later that day, Baltimore police found her deceased with blunt force trauma. Billingsley, who has prior convictions for assault, gun theft, sexual assault, and probation violations dating back to 2009, quickly became a suspect when his DNA was found at the scene. Billingsley was taken into custody without incident. All suspects are presumed innocent until convicted in a court of law. This has been Murder, Mystery, and Crime. I'm Jessamine Dodd, One America News.
We'd like to welcome you to our new home for uncensored news and hard-hitting talk shows. If you're tired of cable companies and social media giants chipping away at your most basic and important right, freedom of speech, by shadow banning, demonetizing, censoring, and policing every single one of your posts, then One America News on Locals is just what you've been looking for. Finally, you'll have the freedom to express your point of view and stay connected with like-minded fellow patriots. And the best part is, OAN on Locals is only $5 a month. All of our credible, honest, unbiased reporting, ad-free talk shows, and exclusive content, all at the fraction of the cost of cable. So to watch, just click the join button to get the news you can't get anywhere else.